Do you guys know how to shut it for more than 5 seconds? Juno Stoneback finally piped up, slightly irritated from all of this puffy, wannabe alpha male oratory echoing throughout the oversized vestibule. She was the youngest and smartest among the Stonebacks, with a short-fused temper, a snappy attitude, and a very low tolerance for this exasperating macho monkey, banana-brained brag-slap contest. No one cares how many bananas you can eat, how many barrels you can smash, or how many Ironwood coins you can collect. Juno would routinely vent to grim Stoneback. Dozens of potentially worthy racers stood touching shoulders in what was technically a coat room. They were shoved tightly together in the first room upon entering the castle doors, waiting for King Gavrak to let them in. King Gavrak wasn't simply keeping his guests waiting unnecessarily, given his more brash demeanor, but he was also waiting too, just not in the same room with his peasants. Pip and Rook glanced at each other, flashing a quick smile. They were both thinking the same thing. "Well, hey there, crybaby Juno," Pip was the first to shout back. "You and old man Grim over there can actually just sit this one out. The Primates and Pampers cart race is next week. Best you stop changing tires and practice changing diapers. You're gonna need strong wrists if you plan on winning." "Boys," Grim Stoneback chimed in, thrusting his cane in the air, "you're one smart comment away from me banana-slapping the grunk barrel out of you. Y'all are babies compared to what I've seen." Grim, the elder of the Stoneback family, hadn't come to race. He came to witness. All he wanted was to see this mysterious artifact for himself. He knew he probably wasn't worthy anymore to race, due to his old age. Even though he was grumpy by nature, he knew he was worthy enough to at least stand in the presence of the creature in the artifact and receive whatever wisdom it might have to share. He knew without a doubt that the creature in the artifact wouldn't pick him, no way, no how. "I'll have you know, Junior," Grim pointed his cane right at Pip's forehead and continued, "I've been winning kart races decades before you were born. I raced this cup before King Gavrak was king. No one finishes the entire race in the Eternal Ember Cup. My old age is my upper hand I have on you," Pip squeaks. "While you all are busy cart bumping and speed zipping around each other's throats, I'll be watching King Gavrak. He knows more than he's telling us. All I know is that this track is alive. No two races are ever the same." When Grim Stoneback spoke, everyone got quiet and listened. They respected him. He earned it. Even though he was a little, grim at times, he was always there for you in your darkest moments. He always seemed to know what to do. It was no accident that the castle was built where it was. Upon first discovering this land, King Gavrak's forefathers had unknowingly, at the time, stumbled into an enchanted puzzle on an island within an archipelago, a secret world of unfathomable mystery and wonder. The land and the creatures King Gavrak's ancestors happened upon just didn't make any sense to anyone, anywhere. They found semi-invisible flying creatures without wings, rainbow shades of mystical plants that came to life when certain heavenly bodies aligned, giant caves with archways carved into shimmering crystal, where portals would lead to fantastic or frightening new worlds beyond comprehension. The land was riddled with endless hidden surprises and wonder, a land that's impossible to map, due to the constant and ever-changing nature of these unknown forces, giving life to and manipulating the physical essence of all it's connected to. Hazy Stoneback, always ready to catch some waves on a freshly waxed surfboard, was smooth about picking his moment to enter the conversation. "You guys are wild," Hazy said enthusiastically. "I'm only here for the free buffet. I only win races when I need Ironwood Coins for surf stuff. What's the deal with nobody ever winning a trophy in the Eternal Ember race?" They all got quiet, a question on everyone's mind. Hazy scratched his chin, like, "Maybe the point isn't winning, man. Maybe the track just wants to see who wipes out with style." Before anyone could respond to Hazy's bizarro statement, he said something that made everyone think deeper. "Y'all ever think maybe nobody wins 'cause this race wasn't built to be won? Or maybe the trophy's cursed, like reverse golden banana voodoo or something?" Moss leaned toward Taro and whispered, "Did he just say voodoo?" Taro just shrugged. In time, the Gavrak family eventually came across the single most intriguing artifact on the island. This artifact was a sophisticated, intelligent entity of some type, an elusive creature, a type of conductor who appeared to be the source of energy, the source of life, animating the strange activities. The artifact was discovered at the bottom of the deepest canyon on a special night, where the moon, the dark sun, and the planets aligned just right, sparking to life the motions of the creature contained within the array of octagonal spires surrounding a sea of magma. Seen from afar, bright sparks and pulsating glowing orbs emanated from the sea. Roaring, crackling sounds radiated as they approached the outer ring. Once close enough, those who dared approach found the harsh, reverberating blasts of cannon fire softened into a soothing tune of spectacular awe, illuminating the spirit deep from within with grand visions of magical competition. A race, a magnificent race among the worthy who were handpicked to serve by the creature within the artifact. "Great question," Rook said to Hazy. "How else would it be so alive?" "Maybe it's a deception, and King Gavrak is really controlling the strings," Pip speculated. "That makes about as much sense as throwing a banana at a baby," Juno responded. "Is that why we throw bananas at you?" Pip quipped. "Didn't I say enough, boys?" Grim squinted his eyes at Pip. "My bad, Grim," Pip said, trying hard to hold back laughter. "I honestly tried not to say it." Grim looked down, silent. The weight of old memories shifted behind his tired eyes, carefully choosing the right words to express the overwhelming memories of his last Eternal Ember Cup race. After a few moments, Grim looked up and slowly started sharing an almost forgotten memory. "I've only raced this cup once before, pre-King Gavrak reign. The creature in the artifact allows each king, during their reign, to initiate the Eternal Ember Cup only once. That's it. Time ran out before anyone could complete the track. That moment devastated the kingdom. A furious king is never good for his subjects." Grim continued to explain the story of what he knew and experienced. Most of what was revealed on that first night was revealed to the people in the very first kingdom, but the true secret was kept quiet. The Gavrak family is the only one who deemed themselves worthy enough to keep the deepest secrets of the artifact. They couldn't keep anyone else away from the sacred race, but they could conceal what was ultimately at stake, the power to control the creature within the artifact. This is where the Gavrak family chose to build their castle, centered directly above the artifact, not only to keep it safe, but to keep absolute control over who had access to the artifact, and the information revealed throughout the cycles of the stars. Taro, Princess Avalyn, and Moss weren't standing too far away. In this tiny coat room, everyone could hear everyone. Princess Avalyn had known Grim Stoneback long enough to know he always told the truth, even when it cost him. She glanced at Taro and Moss. They exchanged a look, said nothing. She took a few steps towards the Stoneback family, gently placed her hand on Grim's shoulder, and asked, "I hope you don't mind me asking, but what was the kingdom like before King Gavrak took the throne? I read that King Gavrak's father was unusually hard on him after failing to win the cup. Is that true? Is that why King Gavrak is the way he is?" Gavrak was waiting in the chamber of the artifact. He wanted to be the first in the room when the creature presented itself and began the racer selection examination process to choose only the most worthy in the kingdom. All of a sudden, the Sea of Magma stirred, the spires glowed, and the ground shook. Gavrak stood up, took a deep breath, and stared hard at the movements of the array. Listening closely, he cracked a wicked smile in eager anticipation to finally be the first generation to claim the power all for himself, once and for all. Like his father, he justified his actions, promising himself in secret that one day, after he got control of the creature in the artifact, he would again treat his people right. Grim looked up at Princess Evelyn and said, "Before failing to get the cup, King Gavrak's father was a good man, a kind, honest king who wanted what was best for his people. He was the first king to rule over the new, exciting world. Then one day, they discovered something that they couldn't control, something more powerful. Instead of giving to his people, King Gavrak's father put everyone on emergency rations and put all his resources towards a secret project. Things haven't been the same ever since." "How awful," Princess Evelyn said. "Awful doesn't cover it," Grim said quietly. "Whatever they found down there, whatever the artifact showed them, it broke something in that family. Every generation since has been chasing something they can't even name." King Gavrak signaled his second in command. "Bring them in." Upstairs in the coat room, the racers were still discussing what was to come when the door creaked open. "It's time," the grunt official said. The door swung open. Beyond it, a long stone corridor sloped downward into flickering amber torchlight. The crowd of potentially worthy racers stepped forward, unaware that today's Eternal Ember Cup would change everything. Some were thinking about glory, others were thinking about food, none of them were thinking about surviving.